Are you working harder than ever to grow your law firm, but still feel like success is just out of reach? Many law firm owners believe the next million in revenue is the solution, but what if that's not the answer? Welcome to Breaking the £1 Million Myth, the podcast for law firm owners who want a high-profit, low-stress law firm. I'm Michelle Peters, former Magic Circle solicitor turned law firm growth strategist, sharing practical advice to help you grow a law firm that's not just successful on paper, but actually works for you. Let's dive in. Welcome back to episode 4, Red, Amber, Green, Diagnosing the Health of Your Law Firm. Knowing what to do is one thing. Doing it is another. When was the last time you felt excited about your law firm and inspired to make changes and improvements so you can get the results you want? Maybe it was after hearing a great speaker talk about a relevant business topic. Or you read an inspiring business book. Or you listened to a podcast episode that helped you think differently about how to have a more profitable law firm. Maybe even one of my episodes. Whatever inspired you, did you take action? If you did take action, did you follow it through? Did you commit to consistent action until you achieved the outcome you wanted? If the answer is no, or not as much as I would have liked, then you're not alone. The truth is, it's much easier to be inspired to act than it is to take the action itself. I've been a regular gym goer since my 20s, and I know from experience that every January, when people get inspired to make those New Year's resolutions to get fit or lose weight, the gym becomes unbearably busy. Suddenly, the regulars like me are queuing to use machines they normally walk straight onto. But I also know that, come February, things have calmed down a little, and by March is back to normal levels of busyness in the gym, because those new members have drifted back to the sofa or the pub. Those new gym members were inspired, but they didn't truly commit to consistent action until they had achieved the result they came for. Knowing what to do in concept to get a result is not the same as actually doing it. Knowing we should do more marketing to bring in clients for our law firm isn't the same as spending the required amount of time, money, and effort to do the right things, to do the right kind of marketing that will bring us the results we want. Equally, knowing we should spend more time working on our business rather than just in it isn't the same as carving out the time and space needed to perform the critical role of CEO that we talked about in episode 3, and certainly not to do it on a regular basis. You need more than awareness that you need to do something. You need a step-by-step plan that clearly shows you where to start, what to do, and how to do it. What's more, that plan should be based on what's already working for others in a similar situation to you, so you have confidence you're spending your time, money, and effort wisely, rather than feeling like you're having to test everything from scratch. Without confidence that the plan has proven strategies and is likely to work and bring the results you want, most of us will find an excuse not to do the work of implementing it, either consciously, with an excuse as to why we can't do it right now, or just by allowing ourselves to be distracted by all the other things on our everyday to-do list. We've all been there. I've been there. You've been there. We get busy doing other things that feel comfortable, more familiar, easier, more achievable. Not because we've stopped wanting the other thing. We want it more than anything. But suddenly it isn't as important as making that call or eating that piece of cake or doing that piece of work. Time passes in a haze of busyness until eventually all that enthusiasm and excitement for the new idea is just a distant memory. I don't want you to stay stuck and frustrated. You're listening to this podcast for a reason. I want this podcast to not only inspire you to take action, to create a high-profit, low-stress law firm, I want to help you actually take that action and follow it through until you get results. So if you want that too, you're in the right place. The first thing we need to do is start breaking down bigger concepts into smaller, actionable steps. We need to do this one step at a time. Just like when I work with clients, you can't eat an elephant all in one go. You have to take small bites. So the first step you should take is what I call the diagnostic deep dive. In episode 3, which was about the Freedom Firm framework, we talked about the 3 core elements of a profitable practice that need to be functioning properly for you to achieve a freedom firm where you have more of your ideal clients, higher profits, and time back to do the things you want. Now, these three core elements make up the vehicle we talked about previously. As a reminder, your firm is the vehicle you're using to get to these results, and you need to ensure each element of the vehicle is working correctly and not acting as a brake on your own growth journey. So in this episode, I'm going to help you diagnose the health of each of your three core areas: attract, convert, and maximize, so you can see where you need to start taking action to get the brakes off. This is critical because you can't fix or improve everything at once. You need to take things one step at a time. So we're going to start the diagnostic deep dive process right now together, and then I'm going to show you how you can go deeper into this process with my guidance using a special bonus resource for this episode. Okay, are you ready to get started? We're going to use a diagnostic tool I developed over the last decade of working with law firm owners called the Traffic Light Accelerator. Here's how it works. There are three colors in a traffic light: red, amber, or yellow in some parts of the world, but I'm going to stick with amber, and green. In our case, the red light represents something that is broken or not working properly, keeping you stuck and stationary, not bringing you results, blocking your profits, causing you frustration, or keeping you working harder than you need to be. A green light, on the other hand, represents something that's working. It's working well. It's moving your firm forward towards the results you want, without you having to put in a lot of time and effort to achieve it. And then an amber, or yellow light, represents something in between. Generally something that's on go slow and not performing as well as it should, or it's taking more time and effort than you'd like for the results you're getting. So now that you have a definition for each colour of the traffic light, let's use that to traffic light your firm's current state of attract, convert, and maximize. Now, just before we start, a word of caution. If you have several different practice areas in your law firm, like property, estate planning, commercial, litigation, then it's really hard to do one diagnostic exercise that applies to all areas. That's because you might be doing really well in attract for property, but poorly in attract for litigation, or have great convert system for estate planning, but struggle with your commercial work. So if you have multiple practice areas, I highly recommend doing this exercise for one area at a time. So for today, pick the practice area you most want to improve and do the diagnostic for that area. You can come back later and repeat it for other practice areas at another time. Okay, are you ready to get started? Let's start with diagnosing how well you're doing in the first area of attract. Now, if your attract is working well, if it's a green light, you'll have a consistent flow of inquiries from ideal clients, the types who give you the work you want to do and happily pay your fees and don't quibble. You'll wake up in the morning excited to work with them because you enjoy the work they give you, you like working with them as people or organizations. Ideally, they'll also be the kinds of clients who happily refer you to others, write great testimonials, and are great ambassadors for your firm. If your attract is green, you'll also be able to relax because you're getting a consistent stream of these kinds of clients in the quantities you want, meaning you've plenty of profitable work. You're not worried about where the next clients are coming from. We want your attract to be green because when you have the right quantity of the right quality of clients, you're well on your way to having a high profit, low stress law firm. If, on the other hand, your attract is red, you'll know it because you either won't have the quality of clients you want or you won't have enough of them, which is a quantity problem. If you have a quality problem, you might find yourself resenting the time you spend working with those clients because they don't really value your services or they don't pay your fees on time. You might also find you're spending too much time dealing with these clients to make your fees profitable. In other words, it takes too much time to get their matter done. On the other hand, if you've got a quantity problem, you might be constantly worrying about bringing in enough clients to pay the bills. And you might sometimes fall into the trap of taking on clients you know are going to be unprofitable or troublesome just because you're worried about making payroll. If you feel like you have a good quality of inquiries coming in, but just not enough of them, or that you're spending too much time or effort to get them, then you're probably in the amber zone here. So, what colour is your attract? If you've downloaded the Profitable Practice model, then grab a pen and make a note of this colour in the attract circle so that you can come back to this later. Now, let's consider convert next. This is the way in which you turn an inquiry into a paying client. Now, if your convert is working well, if it's a green light, you'll see 3 things happening when you're dealing with new client inquiries. Number 1, you'll convert a high percentage of those inquiries, of the ones you want to work with, into paying clients. Let's say 70% or more. Number 2, you'll be converting those inquiries at the fee levels you really want to charge, not lowering your fees to get a yes, but charging what you're worth and getting it. And then number 3, you'll be doing all this without spending a lot of non-fee earning time with these prospective clients. In other words, whether you're dealing with them face-to-face or by phone or by email, it will be quick, efficient, and effective. If your convert is green, then instead of finding the conversion process a frustrating time suck, where you end up giving too much advice to freebie seekers or those who aren't serious about getting your help, you'll look forward to dealing with new inquiries because you feel in control of the process that you're using and you feel that you're using your time effectively. And once you've converted these inquiries into paying clients at the right level of fees, you'll then be able to enjoy doing their legal work, knowing you're getting properly rewarded for your expertise, experience, and the time you're putting in. We want your convert to be green because having an efficient conversion process with a high conversion rate and clients saying yes to the right level of fees will dramatically speed up the journey towards the financial and lifestyle results you're aiming for. Now, if, on the other hand, your convert is red, you'll know it because you'll either spend too much time talking to the wrong prospects who don't turn into paying clients, and perhaps you giving away your valuable advice for free, or you'll have plenty of clients saying yes to fees that never can be profitable and will just keep you working too hard for too little return. If your fees are just a little too low, or it's taking just a little too long to convert inquiries, you're probably in the amber zone here. But don't use amber as an excuse to cover up a red problem. If it's really red, then let's rate it red. So, what color is your convert? Again, if you've downloaded the PP model, then grab a pen and make a note of this color in the convert circle so you can come back to it later. Now let's move on to the third and final area, Maximise. If Maximise is working well in your law firm, if it's a green light, you'll know it because you'll be generating healthy profits without you and your team working long hours to do it. Now, I'm often asked, what's a healthy profit level? And the answer is, depends what kind of law firm you're running, your practice areas, and where you're based. But let's talk general. In my experience, 25% profit after paying the owners a proper salary or drawings and not just a nominal amount is the minimum you should be aiming for. 30% is better, and some firms can achieve 40% or more. If you're part of the 200k club, taking home at least 200k from your law firm as an owner after tax, then this is a good benchmark and you might consider it to represent a green light. However, if the results you want include a much higher take home for yourself, which is perfectly fine, perhaps 200k is only an amber light for you. So this is about getting the level of profits you want and deserve, so you should decide whether your profits are red, amber or green based on how close or far away you are from the financial results you really want. Now, when your profit levels are in the green zone, you can stop lying awake at night worrying about making enough money to pay all the bills, make payroll, and be able to pay your insurance premium at renewal time, and instead use that mental bandwidth to make clear decisions about the next steps that will increase your profits. You'll also have the financial freedom to make the decisions about what investments you want to make in your business, whether that's business development, marketing, IT systems, AI products, new team members, bonus schemes for your team, better office, and so on. Although do remember to make sure that they are good investments. In other words, that they help you make more profit rather than just being additional costs. For Maximise to be truly green, it's not enough to just generate profit. You need to be able to generate that profit without working more hours. Otherwise, you'll remain on the eternal hamster wheel where more profits always requires more work. And because most firms are based on a time for money model, getting off this hamster wheel means starting with the age-old advice of work smarter, not harder. In other words, work more efficiently, waste less time, spend more time on the business rather than just working in the business. We all have the same number of hours and minutes in a day, but having a green light in Maximise means making the most of the time you have, both inside and outside your law firm. Making every moment count. Learning how to focus on the high-impact activities that will move you closer to the results you want more quickly and with fewer hours of your time. And then ditch or delegate the rest. Because if you don't eliminate the all-too-common time traps, like constant interruptions from your clients and team that keep you from working on the business, you'll stay stuck on the revenue roller coaster without getting nearer to your goal of having a high-profit, low-stress law firm. So it's critical to remember that if higher profits come at the expense of time freedom, then you're not truly in the green zone here. So what colour is your Maximise? Make a note on your model. Okay, now that you've assessed your traffic light colour for each area of Attract, Convert and Maximise, what are your results? If you've got a mixture of colours, then pay special attention to which areas you categorised as red. These are your priority areas to fix. These are the areas slowing you down the most from having more profits and working fewer hours. Did you rate all 3 areas the same colour, such as 3 reds or 3 ambers? If so, I want you to look at these areas again and decide which one feels more red, which one's more of an obstacle. Maybe the other areas currently showing red are more red-orange. In other words, they're important but are not as critical to fix as your true red area. So have a look and see if any colours need changing. Congratulations, you now have what I call a heat map. A heat map that shows you which part of your firm's Attract, Convert and Maximise you need to fix or tune up, and in which order, so that you can increase your numbers of ideal clients, achieve higher profits, and have more time back with less stress. You now know where to start. And this shows you the first steps in your roadmap to a high-profit, low-stress law firm. Turn your most important red, your reddest red, to green. And you're now where all my law firm owner clients have started. You can see what needs to be fixed and the order of priority you should fix each area. Information is power. I said earlier that taking action starts with taking small steps. Well, you've taken the initial step today of diagnosing where you have red or amber lights that are slowing down your journey towards having a freedom firm. The next step is to understand why you have a red or amber light in Attract or Convert or Maximise. Because when we understand why we have a red light, the answer to the question, how do I change it to green, is much clearer. Now, to help you identify specifically why you might have a red or amber light, I have another resource for you. One that will not only give you this deeper diagnostic, but will also give you personalised recommendations about how to turn your reds and ambers to green lights and help you build a high-profit, low-stress law firm quicker and with less effort. This resource is my Law Firm Growth Score quiz, which is custom-built specifically for law firm owners who want a high-profit, low-stress law firm. It was designed by me and is based on the actual questions I would ask you if we were sitting down together across a table to assess your law firm or practice area. And when you take the quiz, you'll get my personalised recommendations based on what I'd say to you if we were sitting across the table together. So, come and have a conversation with me in the Law Firm Growth Score quiz and find out my recommendations for your law firm or practice area. It'll only take you 3 minutes to complete this, and you'll be emailed a personalised PDF report with explanatory video. It will be the most valuable 3 minutes you'll spend on your business today. You can find the quiz at www.thebusinessinstructor.com/quiz. And I'll also put the link in the show notes for you for today. So that's thebusinessinstructor.com/quiz. See you there. You've been listening to Breaking the £1 Million Myth. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd really appreciate it if you'd leave a rating and review. And you can discover more proven strategies for profitable law firm growth at www.thebusinessinstructor.com. Hey, we've rolled the outro, but you're still here. Are you looking for something else from me? If so, then here are my tips about what to do next. Firstly, do whatever I recommended in that episode, because ideas don't change things, action changes things. Secondly, you could like and subscribe to our podcast so I know you like it and I'm encouraged to make more episodes for you. And thirdly, if you'd like to continue the conversation that I started in this podcast episode, leave a comment below and I'll reply. And lastly, if you've done all those things already, take a break and do something fun. You deserve it.